When you lived the same way for decades, your body doesn't reset in one weekend. It adapts. It adapts to the couch. It adapts to the car. It adapts to sitting. It adapts to stress, bad sleep, and zero movement. Then, one day, you look in the mirror, you feel your breathing, your back, your knees, your energy, and you decide, enough, I'm changing my life. That decision is powerful. But here is the truth nobody wants to hear. If you try to break a decades long pattern in one week, the price will be charged. And that's exactly where a lot of people fail when they start training late. They finally begin something great and they stop. So, here's the question of the day. What's the biggest mistake people make when they start training late? Welcome, friends. I'm Fred. Here we talk about business, investments, real life, and training, all from my personal perspective. And today, this is a training topic, but it's also a real life. Let's define late because this matters. Late can be 30, 40, late can be 55, late can be 60. Late isn't a number. Late is when you realize you wait longer than you should have and you are paying interest. Now, what's the biggest mistake? It's not age. It's not genetics. It's not I'm not athletic. The biggest mistake is simple. They start like they are trying to make up for 20 years in 20 days. They start too hard, too fast, too often, with too much ego. And ego is expensive because your motivation might be high, but your tissues are not ready. Your heart might be willing, but your joints haven't been invited to the meeting yet. So, the body charges you pain, inflammation, a strain, a tendon issue, a knee, a shoulder, a back. And then the person says, see, training isn't for me. No, training is for you. You just started with the wrong strategy. Let me make something clear before we go deeper. Starting late does not make you inferior. You are not behind as a human being. You are not ridiculous because you are in a gym at 45. I am 46. Nobody is judging you as much as you think. Nobody cares. Most people are too busy thinking about themselves. And the ones who judge, they don't matter. So, remove that mental barrier. You are allowed to start. You are allowed to be a beginner. You are allowed to look awkward at first. That's normal. Now, why do late starters rush? Two reasons. First, pain. They feel pain in their body or fear about their health. And they panic. Something is wrong. I need to fix it immediately. Second, regret. They look back and think, I should have started years ago. So, they punish themselves with intensity. But intensity is not the same as progress. Intensity without structure is just chaos. Here is a simple framework. Late starters don't need maximum effort. They need maximum consistency. Consistency beats intensity because intensity gets you injured and injury kills consistency. So, what should you do instead? You need to respect three things: your tissues, your nervous system, and your lifestyle. Let's start with tissues, muscles, tendons, ligaments, joints. Cardio improves fast. Skill improves fast, but tissues adapt slower. That's why people can feel fit after 2 weeks and then get hurt in the week 3. Their lungs improved, their confidence improved, but their tendons didn't. So, the smartest approach is build the base first. If you start late, your first goal is not a personal record. Your first goal is, can I train for 90 days without getting injured? That's the game. Because if you can do that, you can do 180. And then you can do a year. And that's when your life changes. Now, let me give you examples. I've trained people in combat sports who, on day one, looked completely lost. Their first punch was weak. Their first kick had no balance. Their conditioning was zero. And you know what happens? If they stay consistent, in 3 or 4 months, they look like a different person. Not because they become champions, because their body learned the basics and their confidence came back. Step by step, one correction at a time, one session at a time. Now, a personal example. I've trained martial arts for most of my life, but running was new for me as a daily habit. When I started running every morning, my body complained. In my case, plantar fasciitis showed up. The pain teaches you humility fast. So I had a choice: quit or adapt. I adapted. I did physical therapy. I adjusted volume and I alternate impact. One day running, one day cycling. Why? Because I identify my weak limit. My Achilles heel was literally my foot. So I gave it stress, then recovery. Stress, then recovery. Running, cycling. And then, over time, the pain disappeared. Not in a week, not in a miracle. In the process, maybe in a year. That's how real adaptation works. Now, here's a very important counterpoint. The opposite mistakes also exist. Some late starters go too easy. They never push. They do the same light workout forever. They never improve. That's also a problem. So, what's the solution? Progressive overload. Intelligently. You want enough challenge to adapt, but not enough to break. You want pressure with control, not chaos. Think of it like business. If you invest everything in one risky move, you can blow up. If you invest nothing, you never grow. You need a plan, a timeline, and risk management. Training is the same. Now, let's talk about the ego traps that hurt late starters. Trap 1: trying to train like a 22-year-old. You watch videos, you see athletes, you copy them, but your body has a different story. Now, trap 2: comparing yourself to people who never stopped. They trained for 10 years. You started last month. It's not the same race. Step 3: believing pain is a badge of honor. There is a difference between soreness and damage. Soreness is normal. Sharp pain is a warning. Trap 4: chasing fatigue instead of skill. People think, if I'm destroyed, it was a good workout. Not always. Sometimes it is. A good workout is one you can repeat. Now, here is something that sounds simple but changes everything. If you start late, you don't need to win the day, you need to win the week. That's a mindset shift. Instead of today I'll go crazy, you think this week I'll show up 4 times clean. And clean means good form, good warm up, good sleep when possible, hydration, and one day off when your body asks for it. Another mistake late starters make is ignoring recovery. They train like recovery is weakness, but recovery is where adaptation happens. If you are 40 plus, your recovery needs respect. I am 46. Not because you are fragile, but you are not 20 anymore. And that's not negative, it's just reality. And reality is a friend when you accept it. Now, let's talk about choosing the right activity. The best training for late starters is the one you can actually stick to. If you love it, great. If you don't love it, choose something tolerable and make it a routine. Because if your plan depends on motivation, you will fail. Motivation comes and goes, routine stays. That's why walking is underrated, cycling is underrated, strength training is underrated, mobility is underrated. People want the hardcore thing, but the boring thing done for years is what transforms you. You are becoming someone who trains. That identity is worth more than any six pack. So protect it. Don't let one injury steal it. Don't let one bad week destroy it. Don't let one I missed a day turn into I quit. Now, let's make this practical. If you are starting late, here's a simple starter strategy. Step 1. Start with 3 days per week. Not 6, not 7, 3. Step 2. Keep sessions short. 30 to 45 minutes per session. You are building the habit first. Step 3. Focus on basics, strength, mobility, and low impact cardio. Step 4. Add intensity later. After your body proves it can handle consistency, then you add intensity. And step 5. Track one thing. Did I show up this week? That's it. Simple as that. Because progress often happens in steps, not in a straight line. You stay at one level, you feel stuck, then suddenly you jump. That's normal. Now, I'll share something that surprised me when I start running. I'm naturally fast, aggressive, impatient. I wanted to run fast, but I realized I am heavy compared to many runners, to most of runners, especially in YouTube. If I run their pace, I'll get injured. So I slow it down and I learned to enjoy it. Running slowly became a kind of a meditation for me, a calm start of the day. And it supported my real goal, fighting training. This is the power of clarity. When you know your real goal, you stop doing stupid things. So, to answer the question, the mistake of people who start training late is not starting late. It's trying to erase the past with reckless intensity. Don't do that. Start with respect. Respect your body, the process. the long game. Because the goal is not to train for a month, the goal is to train for life. And when you do it that way, you will be shocked by what your body can become, even if you started late. Now, tell me in the comments, what mistake do you see late starters making the most? And if you started late, what lesson did you learn the hard way? Thanks for watching, my friends. I see you in the next video.